What's up, guys? YaVonda MsYaYa here, and you are back tuning into my 2 cents in a sip podcast, guys. We are streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Go ahead and look up my 2 cents in a sip podcast. Welcome to 2026, season 3, and we're gonna start this year off with no tea, no wine, no shade, just my 2 cents and a sip. Yes, guys, so much is going on, and I have to tune you guys into what I have to start this year off with. So, yesterday, I decided to watch a documentary on one of the ladies from the reality show Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Okay, so this is the one of the newest franchise of the Real Housewives. So before I break down what's been going on, make sure y'all subscribe, follow, like, and share, guys. Download if you can, just to stay tuned and updated on the latest on the scene, okay? Mary Crosby, what got me into the Salt Lake City franchise, honestly, I think it started in 2016 with season 1, was, okay, another group of white women in the middle of America, and I wanted to just see what they lived like over there, just like I did with the OC and with New York and, any other group that had the 5 white women or 6 white women. But in Salt Lake City, it was 1 Black woman up there. So that really got me interested. I'm like, "What's she doing out there?" Okay? What is she doing out there? So, as I'm watching it, I believe I wasn't invested, so I would see certain episodes. So this episode, they were asking her how did she get her money. And she basically said that her grandmother passed away and left her everything. And before her grandmother passed away, she said that she want her to marry her latest husband, the husband that she was married to when she passed away, and continue to run the church and all my businesses. And I was like, that's kind of different for a family to do that, first of all. But it was her grandfather, but not her blood grandfather. So this was her grandmother's second husband. Her grandmother's first husband, he was nowhere in the picture. Okay. So her mother, who's the daughter of the grandmother, father was not around, but the mother was around, okay? And then her daughter was around. And when the grandmother married this step granddaddy, he was 22. She was 42, the grandmother that is. And the granddaughter that's on Salt Lake City was 3. No tea, no wine, no shade.
No tea, no wine, no shade. It's my 2 cents. Now sit.
They got married. They were together for about, I believe, 20 years because the 3-year-old that's now on Salt Lake City grew up and married her step grandfather at 20. I believe she was 22, 23, and she married him. It was like full circle, okay? 20 years. Everybody get 20 years, okay? So they got married. They've been married. They've been running the churches and all of her business. Now, y'all, this is a documentary, okay? It is so deep. I don't even have enough time to tell y'all everything. It's just very deep, okay? So the grandmother, she from Indiana, okay? She had 4 kids. She walked, okay? And her name, God, was Rosemary, okay? Rosemary, and I forgot the last name because that is not where the Cosby come from. But Rosemary and her 4 kids walked from Indiana to Salt Lake City on epiphany from God because Rosemary was a part-time pastor in Indiana. And something told her, God told her, go to Salt Lake City. Okay. Her friends was like, why Salt Lake City? It's only white people over there. What you gonna do over there? She like, look, God told me to do it. I'm following the Lord. Okay. So her and her 4 kids walked, hitchhiked, caught a bus if they had the money, and they made it to Salt Lake City. Back in them days, y'all, can you imagine just making it somewhere and then you got a place to stay? Okay. So I don't know. But that's what happened. They had a place there. They lived there. She worked as a maid and then she did praising, pastoring out her living room and she let the people come in the neighborhood. Okay. Of course, it was white neighborhood. So white people was coming in and getting their blessings. And I guess the black people that was off they got wind of it and they start coming. She started opening up salons, I mean, everything to cater to the small community of population of Black people that were in Salt Lake City, but of course, never turned down a white person that came. So it was whites and Blacks. The house got too big with members that she found a church. And in her church, she was a pastor. More people came and she became Faith Temple. All right. And that's how Rosemary got her start, pastoring. Okay. Now, we got more to do after that. That's just a little start. So, as Faith Temple began to grow and become a Faith Temple Pentecost church, Rosemary, which is the grandmother of the church, she got more and more members. She still traveled back and forth to Indiana, which is where she was from. Going to Indiana, they had like big organization meetings that churches have where they come up with different ideas and different things to do in their churches and they bring it to the different faith temples from here, there, and everywhere. At this organization meeting back in Indiana, there were some members that wanted to come to Faith Temple in Salt Lake City. And it was about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 members wanted to come from Indiana and just move to Salt Lake City and become members of the Faith Temple Church in Salt Lake City. And one of those people was Robert Cosby, a 22-year-old out of the military guy. So he moved to Salt Lake City. And when he got there, he was very fond of the grandmother, Miss Rosemary. He was always up under her. While she's preaching, he's fanning her. And members of the church would say, Mama, which is what they call Rosemary, he really like you. And she's like, what? No, he's 20 years younger than me. I'm not thinking about that boy. So she's still going about her day preaching and everything. He's still, you want this? You want this? Yeah, I got this for you. I can do this for you. He's being that type of thirsty type of guy over Mama. And they showed some video footage of Mama, and she had a nice little shape. Mama had the boobs, she had a little waist, had a little booty. But yes, he was all over that. And eventually, she gave into that. I don't know how long it took, but she gave into it, and she convinced herself to marry him. 20 years her junior. Okay, he's 20 years younger than her. So she's like 43 or 42 and he's 22, 23, and they get married and she tells the church, "Hey, he's going to be who I lead the church to." This is what she says out her mouth. Because he's starting to, she met him at that meeting, so he's a church faring guy. He's just younger than her. But now they're married. They have no kids together due to their age difference. But she did adopt 2 children while they were married. And while Mary's growing up, okay, she was 3 when they met. Now she's like, let's say 10, 15. Mary was always like a wild child is what they're saying. Members of the church is saying she always was sneaking out, running away. They would have to go look for her. She always liked the bad boys. She always liked the boys that can get her money. She always was flashy. You can even tell in pictures they dressed in the little furs and stuff like that. So growing up, that's what she wanted. And it looked like she'd do whatever to get it. So by the time Mama, the grandmother, was 65, okay, remember she married Robert at 42. Now, 20 years later, and now Mary 23, Mama suddenly passes away. Before she passes away, let's just say a month before she passes away, she kicks Mary out of the church, which is called disfellowship. When the church say you still can come to church, of course, but you can't join in any of the activities and participate until we know that you are serious about it because you're sneaking out, you're doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing, and you're holding a position in the church. So now you come and sit on the pew and get that knowledge back in your head before you try to take on a position of leadership. So she was disfellowship, and then mama suddenly passed away without her getting her invite back to get a position on the pulpit. So at the funeral, Mary is sad and like, oh my gosh, I didn't even get to get back in church. I'm so sad. All of this. Mary and her sister, basically, mama didn't have no will. There was no will. They did not know what to do with this church that she done built from the ground up. And the Robert Cosby, the night that mama passed away, calls one of his grandsons and says, "She left me, man. She left me." You know what I mean? She left me. And the grandson like, "You gonna be all right?" Because they're older now. Mary's like 50. Okay, no, I'm sorry. The grandson was like 23, just like Mary was 23 when the grandmother passed. And he called the 23-year-old grandson and told him, "She left me. She left me." So they don't know what to do with the church because remember, he never was a pastor. The mama was the pastor. And that's the only one that preached. Okay. And she preached. Okay? And when she passed away, Robert tried to continue taking on church, which he did, but they don't know how to pastor. And when you don't know how to pastor, the things they were saying, the ways they were reading the Bible, the ways they just became hypocrites to everything that mama preached is what we see today now on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Okay. Now, she told the story on first season that caught my attention, and it said, "My grandmother passed away, and she left me her businesses, her church, and her husband."
No tea, no wine, no shade. It's my 2 cents. Now sit.
That's enough to make you drink. I mean, think. I mean, what? Okay? Like, y'all, that's what your grandma left you? That's what we doing? That's how we do it? I never seen that before. So that's what got me a little interested in there. Then they never seen Robert Cosby up there. He never really showed his face. And then the one time I watched in the episode and they show his face, he clearly did not like that Mary said, "My grandma left me all this and her man." So he gonna say, "No, mama came to me and said, 'Bobby, if anything happened to me, I want you to marry one of my girls, 'cause I know they'll take care of you.'" All the girls in the world. Even mama saying, "Marry one of my girls." Her saying one of my girls, what makes you think it's the granddaughter? She has a daughter that's your age or older. You know what I mean? Like, why would she say my girls and it be one of the granddaughters when she has a daughter? So he was disgusting. That's disgusting. It made me stop watching it. Okay. So I started just watching the reunions just to see how it all boils down. Are they going to get on her? Are they going to keep parading this around? Is Andy gonna keep exploiting this woman, knowing that she's running this church like a cult, is what they're saying in this documentary. Okay, streaming on TLC. I'm watching it on Philo. Okay, no tea, no wine, no shade, guys. So I'm here to just say that this documentary opened up some stuff that we don't usually see in our community or on our cultural hit TV reality shows of Real Housewives. This is a little bit too deep, okay? And Mary has never preached. And for her to just marry her grandmother's husband within the same year, I believe, or a few months after grandma passed, really was not long after, and start taking over the church the way they convinced the people around, like, "Hey, we're not blood. We're not blood. But what's wrong with it?" That was crazy. So now we're going to get into how did Mary get to be on the Housewives? No tea, no wine, no shade. That's my 2 cents on that. For real. How did you become a housewife? Okay. So you're running a church. Like, and when you got family secrets like that, you don't want that on TV. But something up in the mind is going on. Okay. All right. So it's this guy named Cameron who's on season 1 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. He moves to Salt Lake City. He's a Goldman Sachs guy. So he a marketing sales type of guy. So he got a little money and he lives in Salt Lake City. He goes to the church that Mary is the pastor of now. So he has a circle of friends, white women, and Somehow he's friends with somebody, one of the producers, that tells him they're looking for a housewife because the new show, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, is coming. Okay. So he says to them, I have the perfect person that can be on that show. Okay. And that perfect person, he said, is Mary Cosby. Okay. Now remember, this is 2016. Mama had already passed away. I believe she passed away 98, I believe. 90 something, late 90s. She passed away, and again, she was 65 then, okay? And, Robert Cosby was 42 then, okay? So now this is 2016, almost 20 years later to the date, okay? It's over 20 years later, and Mary gets an opportunity to be on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because after Cameron told that producer friend that, and the reason why Cameron told the producer friend that was because he said out his own mouth he wanted the world to see the real Mary Cosby. But to herself getting that opportunity when they called her, she's like, "Oh yes, thank you. Thank you, Cameron. Yes. I would love to do this. I would love to do this. This is right up her alley. She's a money girl, a star, the lights, action, that's her." So she went on Salt Lake City. And of course, when you go on TV and them cameras come around, all the closet demons start the show. And of course, on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, they show her like preaching, they show her at the church, they show her congregation, like praising her and everything. But y'all, when y'all look at this documentary, no tea, no wine, no shade. He is a pastor that say things like they call her on somebody recorded her in the audience of the church. Okay. They recorded her cursing them out because she only had 14 birthday cards. It's about 50, 60 members up in there, maybe 100. And she only got 14 birthday cards. Okay. Because the people is broke and they do all these type of offerings and seed monies and this type of meeting and saints meetings, and that means it's all about money. Nobody knows where this money is going. Yes, the church lights is on, but why is the first lady or pastor dressing so fancy? Because they didn't know this. Okay, now Salt Lake City is on, and you see her big mansion. She got like 20 um closet. She said she's gonna buy a house just to put her clothes in. She got like Balmain, all this. And this is a pastor. This is not no fancy pastor that's up there with TD Jakes and all them mega pastor and them mega churches. No. So how is she this rich? Okay. So they see Salt Lake City and they're wondering how is she this rich? And I'm this broke. One of her members told one of her cast members that they on food stamps because they're giving so much of their money to her that somebody done wrote her a check for $5,000 for her birthday. Somebody done pulled out their 401k. These are grown people, y'all, not kids, grown people. And I just don't know how. I don't know. I've been going to church my whole life, okay? Diehard Christian. And I definitely do not know how a pastor can say some of the things that she said and make you do some of the things that she's made them grown people do. I mean, like, if you're not just listening to somebody, you should go home and read that Bible, okay? Because I don't know if they're reading the scriptures out of it, but maybe you should read the scriptures out of it instead of just going there and listen to a person that bleeds just like you, looks just like you, walk like you, talk like you, okay, got a hairstyle better than you, and you're just listening to what they say out of their mouth as if they are the creator of life, okay? What? The creator of man. How about that? Listening to them as if they are the exact creator of man that died for your sins. No, we cannot do that. No, no. She jumped on the opportunity, and as soon as she got on the Housewives, y'all, them members let her have it. Everything came out the woodwork on how she is running a cult to the point where by season 2 reunion, like, you couldn't lie no more. And I think she didn't even show up for season 3 reunion to the point where she wasn't there season 4 at all. We just started seeing Mary again 2024 in season 5. And she came back in season 5 with, like they said, it must have been a contract, a new contract with Andy saying, I'm not going to talk about this, that or the third. I'm just gonna act like I'm a new person that came on the show. And that's what she did. Season 5, you didn't see no husband, you ain't see no church, you ain't see nothing but her just hugging on members and wanting to get to know her cast. And I just feel like y'all holding on to her because she's black. Y'all got it was a lot of black people in that church. Y'all need to find somebody else, okay? Her sister Denise, okay? RIP, her mom passed away during the making of the documentary. But her mom, when her mom found out that her daughter was marrying her stepfather, not her step granddad. This is actually Mary's mother, stepfather, that her daughter is marrying. She went off. She went in front of that church and said, "This is not God's work at all. I'm out of here." And half of the church left with the mother. Okay? It was terrible, y'all. It is terrible. But she passed away during the making of the documentary. And I really was wanting to hear what she had to say about it because she sounded like she would have went off and told everything. So that is the story on Mary, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Mary Cosby, Robert Cosby. I don't know if they have anything to do with Bill Cosby. I don't even know if he a part of that family. I don't know. So he groomed that little girl from the time he met her because like he said, he was 22 when he married the grandmother. He wasn't nobody grandfather, even though that baby was 3. And he changed the diaper and probably watched her. Okay, grow up and so you're just gonna disown the kids as your grandkids, but you all over their grandmama. It's just too much. And what I want to say going forward with my 2 cents on this subject is bravo, Andy, y'all need to do something. I don't want to see no fake stories on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I want to see what this chick is doing, how she make her money, and I want to see family life. For real. I don't even know if she have any kids. This was the thing I had to tell y'all. So yes, Cameron got her on the show with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Cameron came on season 1, told how he had to mortgage off his house and everything because of what Robert Cosby and Mary was doing to him. In the midst of that, him and Mary also had an affair. Yes. But what do you expect? And I know Robert don't care. He's 20 years older than her. She's 20 years younger than him. She bound to get some, right? So they had an affair, but that messed his mind up because look, the pastor came to my house and came on to me, and I did something with the pastor. That kind of messed his mind up. And y'all, before he can even really tell anything, he passes away from a brain tumor. Guess what Mary says when she finds out? He shouldn't have lied on me. That's probably because he lied on me. What type of pastor says that? Okay? So that's the story of Cameron, RIP Mary Mama, RIP Mary Grandmama. This is one wild family saga. I'm watching season 5 to see what is going on. And we're gonna stay up to date on this, y'all. Everybody on a lot of podcasters are talking about this. Okay, it's all in the documentary. But now y'all getting my side, okay? YaVonda, MsYaYa. No tea, no wine, no shade. Just my 2 cents. I'm gonna take my sip because this is a lot. Let's go. Got me some coffee, y'all, okay? Because this was a big one. And that's it. Make sure you guys subscribe. Tune in to my 2 cents in the sip podcast season 3. We are still discussing reality shows, women issues, couple situations, all this year, guys. No tea, no wine, no shade. Make sure you guys subscribe, download, and share. If you have any anonymous questions about relationship advice or couple situations or something you heard from your favorite reality show, make sure you leave it on the comment tab on your favorite podcast streaming network, okay? Or hit me up on YouTube, guys, and leave it in the comment section. Give me a message, info@YaVondaMsYaYa.com, and I will definitely get that question answered with my random advice, okay? And that's how I stay tuned, guys.
No tea, no wine, no shade. It's my 2 cents. Now sit.